There's a movement afoot to recall Wisconsin State Assembly Speaker Robin Vos. Yeah, I met him a couple of times. Goes back a few years, though, but I remember he was a pretty strong proponent of school choice during the Scott Walker years, and obviously Governor Walker was leading the expansion of school choice. So it seemed like they had a pretty good team back there during the Walker years, but apparently there is some dissension in the ranks. I know generally about this, but I don't pretend to have the intricate knowledge of the Wisconsin political landscape that others do. So there's this group that's trying to recall him because I guess he was not supportive of efforts to impeach Wisconsin Election Commission Administrator Megan Wolf, who they claim oversaw election fraud in 2020 in Wisconsin. And also he said to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel somewhat recently that he was going to do everything to prevent Trump from being the Republican Party's presidential nominee in 2024. Anyway, so there is this event this Sunday, 1:30 to 4:30 in Sturtevant, Wisconsin at the Fountain Banquet Hall. And we'll get more details on this recall movement that is afoot with Mr. Conrad Reynolds, who joins us now to discuss it. Conrad Reynolds, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Hey, well, thank you so much for having me on, Dan. I am very, very appreciative for the opportunity to speak to your listeners. We need everybody to understand that, first, happy Groundhog Day. And,
I know. I just remembered.
That's right. And it seems to me that, we have a Groundhog Day every day with a lot of the rhinos that we have across the nation. We continually, over and over and over, see the same thing. We have borders that can't be protected. We have budgets that get blown out. We're at, almost $34 trillion in debt. We have a problem here across the nation. We have people that we need to get rid of in certain positions, and one of those is Mr. Vos. It's time for him to go, and I'll tell you why. You mentioned it right there in your show. He is protecting Megan Wolf, and we all know that Megan Wolf is the one that allowed the Zuckerbucks to come in, all the drop boxes. She did all of these things. In fact, her term is over. It's been over since last summer, but they allow her to stay in the position, and the blocker is Robin Vos. He has the opportunity to pass Bill 18, which would allow the Senate to move forward with impeachment proceedings against her. And that would happen, but he's blocking that. Why? I don't understand why he is so opposed to the people getting their way in Wisconsin. And apparently he is. And so the other thing that people need to understand is he's got an 84% disapproval rating across the state. An 84%. I think it's time for Robin Vos to go, and I think it's time for him to move on. And we know that this next election in 2024 is very important, very, very important for our country. And we need to make sure that every election has integrity and every vote counts. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent. We want your vote to count, but we want it to be a legal vote, and everybody should be on board with that. And if you're not, then...
But didn't Vos after the 2020 election, if I'm recalling correctly, retain a former Supreme Court justice to investigate the claims of election fraud? So I mean, he did do something to pursue those claims. Did he not?
Yeah. I see a lot of those little efforts, but he eventually fired him. But as you well know, and the other thing is that all the stuff that was brought up. I don't know if you had an opportunity to see the videos of the ballot harvesting in the rest homes in those areas.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
On 2,000 Mules. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was despicable. Well, again, as far as I'm concerned, and the people that are trying to get rid of Mr. Vos, they basically are on the right side as far as I'm concerned of election integrity. And election integrity means, again, we want all votes to count. We don't want systems put in place that make it to where people's vote doesn't count. And we think that that's what's happening right now. Well, there's no question that's happening. And Mr. Vos needs to go. And, again, the people of Wisconsin are going to have an opportunity to vote, and that's why we want the recall effort. and that's why we're pushing for it. We're gonna have the signatures, and they're gonna get an opportunity to say yes or no to Robin Vos. And I think that's going to be important. And Mike Lindell is coming on Sunday. Thank you for mentioning that, because he's a great guy. Mike Lindell is a great guy, and he's coming on Sunday. We want everybody to come. That hall holds 500-600 people. We're trying to get as many people there to listen to what's going on and sign the petition. And we think that it's going to be a huge success. And again, we know that it's time for Mr. Vos to go. And we have a website. We ask people to go to it, and so it's Recall Vos with one S, by the way. RecallVos.com. RecallVos.com.
So this Recall Robin Vos Day. How did you get Mike Lindell involved, or did he get you involved?
Mike Lindell's a friend of mine. I've known Mike Lindell for a long time, and he has been at the forefront of trying to get election integrity across America. And he's a good man who really wants to do the right thing, and he understands what's at stake here for our country. If anybody doesn't know what's at stake, just look at the southern border. You know, I don't know if you know what my background is. I'm a retired Army colonel. I was at 30 years as an Army intelligence officer, strategic intelligence all across the world. I spent over 5 years in Afghanistan. And I understand what the implications are without a secure border. We've got people coming across, and we need to fix that, and no one is. So national security across the board, across America, is important. And Mike Lindell understands that. And that's why I'm here.
And he makes a heck of a pillow, too, I understand. Yeah.
I love the My Pillow. So.
Well, he also makes slippers, and he also makes towels and
dog beds, and I know everything.
I'm wearing the slippers right now. You don't have to tell me, Colonel.
Exactly.
I got you.
Yeah. Well, he can make, and they're really good. I mean, I'm not just saying he really is, but just a good man. I mean, they try to destroy him, but it's not about Mike Lindell. Other than he's coming and people have an opportunity to meet him, it really is about election integrity, election security here. There's a lot of people. I've met so many good people here who want to get rid of Mr. Vos. And you know what? He's been there for a long, long time. And one thing I've learned, that nobody's indispensable. I think Charles de Gaulle said, the cemetery is full of indispensable people.
Right.
I mean, the fact is, no one's indispensable. And you stay in places too long, you get too much power, you stay there, and it becomes a problem. Even in the military, some of our best commanders, I mean, they're only there for 3 years and then move on. There are good, talented people that can step in, and that's what we really need in America. We need to get rid of a lot of these rhinos, and we need to get people in that will actually do the right thing.
Let me ask you about this a little bit more about this recall, because I just want to understand the point of it, because I understand that that election commissioner she can't. There's a court order that prevents her from being removed. I understand that. And I also understand that even if you replace Vos, sort of like replacing McCarthy, the Wisconsin House the Assembly doesn't have the votes to override Tony Evers' vetoes. So and that's just a foundation to say this isn't necessarily about policy change. This isn't necessarily about actually getting rid of this election commissioner if there's a court order that prevents it. This is about punishing Robin Vos because he hasn't lived up to his responsibilities as speaker in your mind. Is that right?
Partly right. This is about getting rid of Megan Wolf. This is about getting rid of Megan Wolf, and Robin Vos has fought the Patriots and people who are trying to get rid of her out of that position because they believe that she has facilitated policies and procedures that are not only unlawful, but that these are policies that undermine the vote of the Wisconsin voter.
But Robin Vos can't get rid of her.
He's been a blocker.
So
no, sir.
So so what you're saying, he should be with you guys leading the charge to get rid of her and challenge this court order.
Yeah, he needs to get off his rear end, and he needs to pass this Assembly Resolution number 18, which basically all he had to do is bring it to the floor and let them vote on it. He blocked that. He's blocked that continually. He will not allow just a resolution to come to the floor to vote to let the Senate move forward with impeachment, and he's blocked it. Why? Why is he doing that? That's all he's got to do.
And why do you think he is?
He doesn't do that. Well, I don't really know, but I know this: he's got the power to block it, and he's done it. And when we've got people in power who are not letting the people of their state, of their county, have their say, then that's a problem. Because you know what? The people are the government works for the people, and they're not doing that in this point. They are blocking. And so that's why he's got to go. We have got, they've got great patriots across this country. Here locally, you've got people like Dick and Liz Uline, who are very big patriots trying to do the right thing. These people are fighting for us, okay? And you got people like Robin Vos, who's not allowing, the people to have their say. And I think that everybody in America needs to understand, not just here, every other state, when you got people like Mr. Vos, who uses his power to block their right to have a hearing, to have a say, then that's when it's time that they've got too much power and it's time for them to go. And,
so there's I hear you. So there's a battleground poll out. Actually, Mike Scott just reported on it that Wisconsin for Biden-Trump is 47-47, so it's a dead heat. We know Wisconsin is one of those top 4 swing states, along with Carolina, Arizona, and
Michigan,
Georgia. Carolina, Arizona, and Georgia, as I was saying, and Wisconsin. So, what will you guys be doing on the ground to try to deliver Wisconsin for the Republicans this go around? You think it's possible?
Well, it is absolutely critical for the 2024 race for the Republicans and for President Trump. But that's not what this is about right now. I'm just telling you, it's important, but that's not what it's about. What's about is what I just said. It's about Mr. Vos not listening to the people of his state who want her gone, who want Megan Wolf gone. And he's not willing to listen to them or do that. And yes, we believe that if she's gone, we think that it'll be a fair election. And all we want is a fair shot. We want a level playing field so that President Trump, when he runs, or anybody else who runs, will have an opportunity to win. I said earlier, and I say it again to all the listeners here, this is not a partisan thing. This is not Republican or Democrat. This is about America. This is about people having their voice heard. And when you get people in office who are unwilling to listen, to use their position to block, like he's blocking this bill, number 18, that would just simply allow the Senate to move forward. That's all we're asking, and he is not allowing that. So everybody ought to be concerned when someone has that kind of power. It's not right. And I've been to over 70 different countries, and I will tell you, when people get that kind of power, it is very dangerous for democracy and for our republic. And that is why I'm trying here to fight and trying to get people to understand this is the time to stand up. This is the time to come and make your voice known. Please come on Sunday to this event, because I think it's going to be exciting, and I think everybody will understand. It's the Fountain Banquet Hall in Sturtevant. Come to it and listen to what Mike Lindell has to say. I will be there along with many other patriots, and we're going to make this happen, and we need everybody to be involved.
He is Conrad Reynolds. The event he was describing this Sunday, 1:30 to 4 p.m. at the Fountain Banquet Hall in Sturtevant, Wisconsin. Conrad and MyPillow's Mike Lindell will be there as well, as he mentioned. Conrad Reynolds, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Dan, thank you. Amy, thank you. Happy Groundhog Day, and God bless America.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, Joe Gigante, host of the nationally syndicated Regular Joe Show, based right here in Wisconsin. You deserve a state representative who represents you. Your current representative, Robin Vos, is working against you and against President Trump. Listen to what he had to say in his own words.
Will you work to elect Trump in 2024 if he's the Republican nominee?
Well, I'm going to start by doing everything in my power to make sure he's